Yo, what is up, guys? We are back, and today we are here to talk about two individuals who have recently tried their way into the video game industry, both in their own sort of way. I'm going to talk about them because I feel like I've slept on this topic for a bit too long. First up, we're going to talk about Soldier Boy. Okay, we're finally talking about it. I waited until we had all the pieces of the puzzle before I brought this up, because at the time when it was going on, there was just constantly new information out, and I didn't want to keep making an update video and flood the channel with nothing but like Soldier Boy videos. So I'm like, I'll just wait until this whole thing blows over, and then we'll just talk about it as a whole, rather than splitting it up into videos. So we're finally talking about Soldier Boy. We are going to be talking about someone else later in the video, but for right now, we're talking about Soldier Boy. If you don't know who Soldier Boy is, which I don't blame you, because honestly, he has not been relevant since like 2007. Like, he has not been relevant in the past, like, 12 years. Like, I'm sorry, Soldier Boy. I know you're not going to be watching this. But, like, on the off chance you see this, I'm sorry. But you haven't been relevant in the past 12 years. Which is probably why you've gone and done this, if I'm being honest. But anyway, Soldier Boy. He was a rapper. I believe he still is a rapper. Like I said, he hasn't really been relevant. So, outside of his first song he did, or his first hit, which was like Crank Dat, which might even be his only hit, because that's the only one anybody ever remembers him for. Outside of that, I don't know anything that he's done music-wise, but like we're not here to talk about his music career. We're here to talk about Soulja Boy trying to get into the video game market and the absolute fuckery that has been going on with that. And I don't know if fuckery is a word, but if it's not, I'm trademarking that shit, because there is some absolute fuckery going on here. So let's talk about it. So, if you're unaware of the whole situation, basically, Soulja Boy came out of fucking nowhere. Like, nobody's talked about Soulja Boy probably in 12 years. Let's be honest. But he just kind of came out of nowhere. He's just like, hey, I'm here, and I'm going into the video game market. I'm gonna be making consoles. And everybody was just kind of scratching their heads, being like, okay, Soldier Boy, you do you, buddy. Pat on the back, hope it goes well. And, spoiler alert, it did not go well. I would not be using words like fuckery if it went well. We probably wouldn't even be talking about it if it went well for him. So let's give you kind of a quick history lesson on what's going on with what he did. So he released his first console. He called it the Soulja Game Console. I don't remember exactly how much he was charging for it, because they're not on the website anymore. He had to take them down, because things did not go well for him. But we'll get into that in a minute. But I believe it was like a little over $100, and it was this. It looked like an Xbox One S, aesthetically. That's what it looked like. It was not an Xbox One S. And the controllers that it came with were like cheap knockoff DualShock controllers. Which is always a good sign when the console looks like one console but then the controllers that come with it don't match the console that it's trying to replicate. That's always a good sign of quality right there. When the D-pad is all just one button and you press up on the D-pad and the entire directional pad goes down. That is a good sign of quality right there. I'm telling you. But anyway, let's not get too far into detail on this one console because we still have actually four more to talk about. But basically, it was this cheap Chinese knockoff console that you can literally get on AliExpress for like 3 times less than what he was charging for it. And there was no difference. They were the exact same console. He didn't even do any rebranding on them, like on the box or anything like that. It was the same console. He just bought a shit ton of them, probably wholesale, and then started reselling them. And on the website, he called them the Soldier Game console, but like nowhere on the actual console or the box does it say Soldier Game. Um, so that was the first console. Then he got a lot of backlash for that because it turned out that because it was a Chinese knockoff console, it came with a bunch of illegal ROMs, which ROMs are kind of a gray area right now. They're kind of a big, like, controversial thing in the gaming industry because, like, there's a lot of people who run ROMs and emulators, and I'm not trying to stake my, opinion on that or try to pick sides. I feel like if you're emulating a game that you own physically, then, like, it's cool because you already own the game. But, like, outside of that, it's like, you know, it's illegal. Regardless, it's illegal. But anyway, I'm not trying to pick sides on that. I also feel like if you're emulating a game that's like fucking 30 years old or some shit, that like clearly the devs aren't making any money on anymore anyway, then it's like, what's the big fucking deal? But anyway, I'm not a lawyer. That kind of stuff is illegal. And he had this console, the first console. It had Nintendo ROMs on there. It had fucking Capcom shit on there. It had SNK on there. Like, it had a lot of big name stuff on there that he did not have the licensing for. I can guarantee you that. And everybody was kind of freaking out. They're like, hey, Soldier Boy, you shouldn't be doing this. You should stop. It's not going to end well for you. And he didn't listen to any of it because immediately after, he released the second console, which I believe was a handheld. The Soldier Game Mini or Soldier Game Boy or some shit. I don't know, but he released another console, which was another Chinese knockoff console, and guess what? A bunch more of illegal ROMs on that one. And again, it was just something you could get on AliExpress for much cheaper. So everybody at this point was like, this guy does not know what he was doing. And we were right, because immediately after that, he released another console. This one was, I believe, another handheld. I believe he had two handhelds. And this one was like a Game Boy knockoff. And, again, a bunch of illegal ROMs that he doesn't have the licensing for. And all that good stuff. And then he releases the Soldier Game Fuse. Now, the interesting thing about the Soldier Game Fuse that sets it apart from the rest of these is the Soldier Game Fuse was actually legal to sell because it didn't come with any illegal ROMs. It was a $300 console, or he was selling it for $300, marked down from like $600, which is not worth that. It's not worth $300. at all. But basically, it was a Chinese console, not a knockoff console. It was like an actual console that released back in 2016 that pretty much completely failed, which is why, it's no longer relevant. But it had actual licensed games on an actual store that you could buy. The problem being that this was an always online console, meaning that if you're not online, you can't do anything. And all of the servers for it are in China, so if you're not in China, it's pretty much an expensive paperweight. But but all of the games on it were officially licensed for that console, and it had some pretty crazy stuff. Mighty Number 9, which I mean, like, nobody is getting excited for Mighty Number 9, but, like, it was on there. Half-Life 2 was on there. Like, they had actual games on there. Like, if he was just selling that one console, yeah, it would have been a shitty console, but it at least would have been legal. And then he has the nerve to go on Twitter after releasing the console and be like, yeah, we just broke a deal with Ubisoft. We're going to have some Ubisoft. It's like, no, you didn't. You did not. Ubisoft does not have time for your stupid ass, okay? I'm sorry, but Ubisoft don't give a shit about what Soulja Boy doing. Yeah, they're like, Soulja who? Nah, they don't have time for you, Soulja Boy. But he was saying that because the Fuse had Ubisoft games on it. But that wasn't a deal he made. That was a deal the Fuse developers made fucking years ago. But anyway, he released all these consoles. Everybody was like, Soulja Boy, you're gonna get sued, okay? Everybody was like, I can't wait to see this dumbass get sued, or like, you're gonna get sued, you should stop. And his response to all the criticism was, he put a tweet. He said, I ain't afraid of Nintendo or you dumbass YouTube nerds, or something to that effect. Thanks for the free promo. And it's like, okay, Soulja Boy, whatever you say. And then, like, almost immediately after that, all of the consoles are pulled off of his website. SouljaGame.com now redirects you to Nintendo.com. And he posts on Twitter, I had to boss up. He didn't admit that he did anything wrong or that he got his ass sued. But I had to boss up, guys. Whatever the fuck that means, I had to boss up. And there were reports of him possibly fleeing to Dubai to avoid prosecution. I don't know if that's true. We don't have confirmation of that, but there were rumors that he fled to Dubai. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, because I would be scared if I was in his shoes. And at that point, everybody's like, okay, the Soulja Boy legacy is over. The consoles are gone. He got his ass sued by Nintendo. He's probably going to get sued by some of the other companies once they see, hey, Nintendo got some money off of this fool. Let's get some money off of him as well, because Nintendo wasn't the only ROMs that were on there. So, like, it's a big can of worm for him. It's a big can of fuckery for him. So everybody's like, okay, it's over now. And my camera froze. So that's great. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so everybody's like, okay, it's over now. We don't have to worry about this anymore. And Soulja Boy, lo and behold, after all this, after getting his ass sued by Nintendo, which we don't know the details of that. We don't know how much he's had to pay out to them, or anything. But he definitely got his ass sued by Nintendo, because SoldierGame.com is now Nintendo.com. So, like, they definitely got him, but they've kept all the details of that private. So we don't know anything that went on with that. Um, but after everything he'd been through, he's like, I'm going to release another console. And he did! Okay, so I'm just gonna butt in for a second, because literally at the time of making this video, Soulja Boy supposedly sold out the Soulja Game handheld, and has released another Soulja Game handheld by the same name. So let's take a look at this. See, here's the one you can see that's sold out. This is the one I was talking about. The one that's actually perfectly legal. Because it doesn't come with any games. So it's perfectly legal for him to sell this one. And then, he releases this one, which comes, if you look here, it comes with supposedly 800,000 games, if you zoom in there. Now, it's not 800,000 games, it's roughly 100 games that have just been repeated over and over and over, so they can say there's 800,000 games. But this one comes with illegal ROMs, so he still has not learned his lesson. He still has not learned. Oh my god. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this guy. Oh, the fuckery continues. Okay, back to the video. Back to the video. I have some extra editing to do now, but back to the video. Back to whatever previous me was saying before I had to interject here. Enjoy the video. Stick around to the end, because there's some funny shit at the end. Okay. Bye, guys. He released another fucking console! And this one is a PS Vita knockoff. He's selling it for $99. You can buy the exact same one on AliExpress for $27. And it doesn't come with any ROMs, because, like, that would be illegal. But it's advertised as being compatible with Game Boy Advance games. So, basically, it's an emulation machine that you have to put your own ROMs onto. And that's fine, that's legal. That's legal for him to do that. But it's just very strange. Like, I don't know who's gonna be buying this. I don't know, but we'll hang tight. You know, if anything else develops, maybe we'll do a follow-up video on Soulja Boy. But I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Like, does the guy have advisors? Surely he has some sort of financial advisors or something. Like, if he does, and they were okay with him doing this, like, they need to get fired, okay? Because they do not have your best interest in mind. And if he doesn't have any advisors, you should probably hire some, because this was, you know, everybody was telling you this was not a good idea, and you did it anyway. So, that being said, like I said, as of right now, that's all we have on Soulja Boy. If the details of, like, the lawsuit with Nintendo come out, or whoever sued him, I assume it's Nintendo, because, like I said, SouljaGame.com now brings you to Nintendo.com. So Nintendo definitely is involved in this to some degree. But if any of that information comes out, I'll probably do a follow-up, because I want to know. I want to know just how, like, I just want to know how badly Reggie owns this guy now. Like, I want to know. I want to know. There was also one tweet he did. I'm going to say this real quick before we go to the next topic here. But there was also one tweet where Soulja Boy said that Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was gonna come to the Soulja game. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, the hardware you're selling is barely capable of running SNES games. And you're saying it's gonna run a brand new Switch game that you don't have the licensing for. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You can't fix stupid, okay? If anybody learns anything from the Soulja Boy thing, you can't fix stupid. You can only tolerate it. So, moving on from Soulja Boy, because I said we were going to talk about two individuals who recently tried their way into the video game industry. The second one being Jack Black, actually, has a YouTube channel, a gaming YouTube channel, Jablinski Games, or Jablinski Gaming, something like that. And he's got well over, I believe, 2 million subscribers already. Actually, I haven't checked it recently, but I believe he's over 2 million. Let's see. Let me see. He is currently at 3.2 million subscribers, and he's only got 4 videos on the channel. The first two are 29 seconds and 50 seconds, neither one of which are gaming related. And then the other two are 3 minutes and 7 seconds, and then 2 minutes. Which those, you could argue, are gaming related in the same way that if I started a new gaming channel and I said, "Hey guys, welcome to my gaming channel. Here's my 9-part series on Rick and Morty Monopoly. I hope you like my gaming channel." I just want to be clear. I don't dislike Jack Black, okay? Jack Black is actually one of my favorite actors. And I don't know him personally. I've never met him. So, like, for all I know, the guy could be a complete asshole in real life. But, like, from the way he presents himself in public, he seems like a real down-to-earth, like, cool guy. And I want to believe that he is, because I actually like Jack Black. I don't have a vendetta on Jack Black. But I do want to point out that these videos that he's done, like I said, the first two weren't even a minute long. Had nothing to do with gaming. And he's calling it a gaming channel. And then the second two technically are gaming videos, but they, if you really want to stretch it, they're gaming videos. And what I mean by that is the first one, he goes to a pinball arcade. And it's like, okay, that's cool, pinball. I can respect that. I like pinball. But when you say gaming channel on YouTube, people immediately think of, I don't know, maybe one of these, or one of these, or even one of these. You know, maybe even one of these. Okay? They think of video games when you say gaming channel on YouTube, alright? So, technically, he's not lying, because pinball is a game, but I don't know. And then the second one, they go to an arcade of some kind with presumably his son. He implies in the video that it's son. I didn't even know he had a son, which is why I say presumably. Um, but they're both at the arcade and they're having a good time. And I will say that these videos have really good editing. Like, whoever does the editing for them, like, it's pretty good. Which is more than what I can say for a vast majority of the content on my channel. But I have to imagine Jack Black does not sit there and edit these himself. He surely has an editor that he pays to do them. But it's some solid editing work. You know, it's pretty respectable. Um, but the strange thing with it is just he's already blown up to past 3 million subscribers. And he has virtually no content. Like, I can sum up the entire channel's content in less than 6 minutes. Or actually, it'd probably be about just over 6 minutes. And you've seen everything that's on his channel. And, you know, someone like me, who has not even 500 subscribers yet, I have literal, like, if you were going to try to watch every video that I have on my channel, start to finish, like, you'd be here for a couple weeks. Like, we have tons of content. Not to mention we're doing stuff daily, so, like, there's always more content coming out. But it's just, like, the problem I have with Jack Black's channel, it's not that it's Jack Black. I actually really like Jack Black, and I hope that this goes well for him. It's not, and I just want to clarify, I have nothing against Soulja Boy either. Okay, I don't want to sound like I'm picking favorites here. I have nothing against either of them. It's just that there's no substance to Jack Black's channel as of right now. It's like little breadcrumbs of stuff here and there. And people want to see the video games, man. We want to see Jack Black playing some video games. You know, and he's just like, here's pinball, here's an arcade, here's like 2 minutes of that, which has been chopped up in editing, so, you know, each game you might see like a couple seconds of, but, you know, I don't know. I don't have a problem with pinball or arcade videos. Like, that's cool. That's cool. I like the old stuff. I like the old school kind of stuff. I just went to Dave and Buster's for, like, the first time recently, and I fucking loved it. It was a little expensive, but I loved it. But as of right now, Jack Black and Soulja Boy, that's all I really have on him right now. I felt like I kind of needed to talk about it. If there's one thing that Jack Black's channel so far has given the internet, has given us, if there's one thing that he's given us from his channel, it's whatever the hell this is. Roll the footage.